Hello! Today I will show you how to draw this Halloween paper cut illustration in Procreate. This is easier than you think, and even if you're a beginner, I promise you can draw this. So let's start. I'm going to draw this illustration on the A4 canvas from Procreate. Let's rotate it this way. And here, as always, I have prepared the color palette. If you want, you can download it, link will be in the description box, or it will be also available on my Instagram stories. Let's start with this dark brown color, the first one in line, and let's go to the brushes and pick brush monoline in calligraphy. Let's draw a pumpkin shape, just a simple shape of a pumpkin like this. And now we can drag and drop the color to the outside of the shape, like this. I'm just going to fix this edge here. This will be the paper that is on the top. Now we are going to create a paper that will be underneath this one. So let's open the layers and swipe this layer to the left and pick duplicate. Now let's tap on the layer underneath it. And we're going to change the color to the next one in line. And we can drag and drop it onto that shape, onto the color part, the outside of the pumpkin. As you can see now in the layers, the color has changed here. Now we have to make this shape a little bit smaller. So let's go to the arrow tool. And here at the bottom you should have warp option selected. And now we can just transform it like this to make it smaller. And now we can see actually the paper that is underneath it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same shape as the one above it. To make it even easier, we can use this advanced mesh option here. And now we have here some control points that we can move and adjust the shape even easier. When you like the shape you've created, we can tap on the arrow tool to finish this. Let's fill in this little spot here. And now we're just going to draw the missing part of the stem. Okay, now we're going to create another paper that will be underneath that orange one. So let's open the layers and swipe this layer to the left and pick duplicate. Let's select the layer underneath it and go to the colors and pick the next color in line, this one. And we are going to drag it onto that paper so we can change the color of it. Now again we're going to use the arrow tool and make this paper smaller so we can see it. Now again we have to fix the stem, so let's just draw here the missing part. Now I'm going to use the eraser. I'm tapping on it again and setting it to monoline. And I'm going to erase this ugly part here so it'll look nice. So now, you probably guessed, let's do it again. Let's duplicate this layer, tap on the layer underneath it, change the color of it to the next one in line, drag and drop it in there, and now use the arrow tool to change the shape, to make it smaller. And here I'm just going to close this stem part, like this. So now we have 4 papers ready, and we are going to create a new layer now. Move it to the bottom, and we are going to use the last color from the color palette here in the first line, and just drag and drop it in there. This will be like the full paper that is under the other papers. Now the fun can begin. and we can add elements to our papers. So let's start with this one. That is the first one on the bottom paper. Let's pick the same color as the paper. So this one. And I'm going to draw here a cross. One more cross on this side. And on this side, I'm going to draw a tombstone. To make it even more interesting, now we can use the eraser tool and we can erase here the letters RIP. I would also like to have a tree coming out of this paper, but I'm going to change the brush for this. Let's go to inking and pick Studio Pen. So on this side I'm drawing a tree. This will be enough for this paper. Let's open the layers and pick the paper above it. Go to the colors and pick the correct color, so this one. And let's draw some elements on the next paper. Maybe let's draw some branches here, coming from the top of the paper. I'm still using the Studio Pen brush. And here at the bottom, let's draw some grass. Here we are going to draw a pumpkin, a very simple shape like this. And now we can use the eraser tool to erase the place for eyes and mouth. Let's move on to the next paper. So let's open the layers and pick this layer here, the one above it. Let's change the color. And here I would like to draw a pumpkin on this side, but now I see that this tombstone is actually in my way. So let's go quickly back to the layer of the tombstone. And we can just use the selection tool, set it to freehand. Make sure that the color free option is turned off, and we can select around the tombstone. And now we can use the arrow tool to move it a little bit to the right side. Let's switch this here to uniform, and let's move it like this. Now we just have to add the missing parts. Oops, not this color. If you want to pick the color from the screen, you can just hold your pencil on the screen, on the color that you want, and it will just change automatically. Now we can go back to the other paper and draw that pumpkin. Let's make this pumpkin looking very evil. So I'm using the eraser to erase the eyes, nose and mouth. On this layer I'm going also to draw a ghost coming here from the top. It will be a very simple shape. And now using the eraser to erase eyes and mouth. Now we can go to the top layer, this darkest one. Let's change the color for this one. And here we're going to draw some grass. And on this side, let's draw a spider web. So the papers are basically finished. If you like it like that, you can keep it this way. But I thought we could make it a little bit less scary and fun looking by adding some colors to the papers. So let's do that. Let's open the layers. And the first layer, we're going to tap on it and then pick Alpha Lock. This way, now we can draw only within that layer. Let's go to the colors and pick this dark blue color. Let's change the brush, go to airbrushing, pick soft brush, let's make it a little bit bigger, something around 20%, and we can just add some color here randomly. And now let's change the color to the next one, this dark pink one, and we can add some more color to the paper. As you can see, I'm doing it really randomly. And now we want to blur these colors together, so let's go to adjustments, pick Gaussian blur, layer, and now just swipe your pencil on the screen to adjust the blur size. My blur size here is 55%. Let's add a similar effect to the other paper, but not the one that is right underneath the dark paper, but the one underneath it. So this one. Let's set it to Alpha Lock. And now let's just change the colors to the next one, so this purple one. And now let's go to the colors again and pick this green color and add some more of this color to the paper. Now again, we're going to go to Adjustments tool, pick Gaussian blur, layer, and swipe the pencil on the screen. And here I think 55% will be too much, so maybe let's do it around 41%. Now let's open the layers. We are going to skip the layer underneath this one, and we can just go to the layer 5, so the one that is right at the bottom. Let's use still the same green color. And let's draw some random spots there. Now let's go to the colors and change the color to that purple one. And draw with it. And again, we are going to use Gaussian blur. Here my blur size will be 32%. Now we are going to start creating the cut paper effect. It is very easy, so don't worry. We have to duplicate each layer of the paper cut 2 times. Let's start with this layer and swipe it to the left, pick duplicate, and do it again. And now let's tap at the layer in the middle, so this one. And here we're going to make it brighter. So let's go to the adjustments, hue, saturation, brightness. pick layer, and then change the brightness to maybe 66%. You can't see it yet, but in a moment we are going to see it. So we have this one. As you can see, now it changed to the lighter color. And now we can tap on the paper underneath it. And this layer we want to be black. So let's tap on it again. And here pick select. So now the whole layer is selected. And we're going to change the color to black. Let's open the layers again. Tap on this layer. And here pick fill layer. Now as you can see, this layer is black. So let's do it for the other papers. Tap on this layer here and duplicate it twice. Tap on the layer underneath it, go to the adjustments, pick hue, saturation, brightness, and now we're going to change the brightness, like before, to 66%. Now let's tap on the layer underneath it, tap again and pick select. Now we can just pick here color fill, and because we have already black color selected, it will just fill the layer of the black. Now we have to do the same again for the next paper. So I'm duplicating it twice. I'm going to make the layer underneath it brighter. Again, I'm changing the brightness to 66%. And now I'm tapping on the layer underneath it, tapping again, picking select, and it will automatically change into black. And one last time we have to do it for the top layer. So duplicate it twice, change the brightness of the layer underneath it, again 66%, and now tap on the layer underneath it and pick select to make it black. So this is how the layers look now, and we are going to move all the black layers a little bit down and to the left. First let's select all of them, so I'm swiping to the right on all the black layers, and now let's go to the arrow tool, and with the uniform option selected, we can move all of those layers a little bit down and to the left. If you want to make like a micro movements, you can just tap your pencil on the screen a few times. Let's tap on the arrow tool, and now we're going to create shadow from those layers. But first, on the layer of the alpha log, we have to turn off the alpha log, because otherwise we can't use the Gaussian blur. Now go to the adjustments and pick Gaussian blur, layer, and we are going to set the blur size to maybe 8.5%. Let's do it again with the next black layer. So let's tap on it, and then go to the Gaussian blur, layer, and set it to 8.5%. The next layer has alpha log, so we have to turn it off first. And now we can do the Gaussian blur, same 8.5%. And one more time for the last black layer. So this looks really nice, but to make the paper look even more 3D, we are going to select all of the papers that we made brighter, and we are going to use the arrow tool to move them to the top and to right, just a little bit. This is good now, so let's tap on the arrow tool. To make this illustration even more interesting, we can add something to the background, to the bottom paper. So let's tap on it, and now let's create a new layer above it. The color we're going to pick now is this yellow one, here, and we're going to draw some stars. For this I'm going to use my free brush, you can download it, it's called Stars, and I'm just going to add some stars like this. Let's make the brush maybe smaller a little bit, and add some more stars. Let's open the layers, and tap on this layer with the stars, and tap here to change the blending mode. Let's pick Add to make those stars more popping. To make this look even more like a paper cut, we can add paper texture to this illustration. So let's tap on the top layer And now we're going to import our paper texture. Let's go to the Actions menu. Now add and use Insert the File or Insert the Photo to insert the paper texture. All these paper textures are available for free on my Gumroad account, link will be in the description. So once you pick one, it will import like this. Now we have to make it bigger, so it will fit all the screen. Open the layers, and we have to change the blending mode for this layer. You can experiment here and pick any blending mode you like. I usually like to pick Overlay, and you can always change the opacity to adjust the effect. Or the other one I like to use is Multiply. For this illustration, I think I'm going to use Overlay. I like that it makes the color more intense. And the opacity I'm going to use will be 45%. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did and would like to see more videos like this on my channel, please subscribe, leave a like and comment. Also, if you will use this tutorial and would like to share your work with me, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!